Welcome back, tuning into today's video. Just have a quick look at some of the more extended models, the JMA and the CFS models, see when this fine spell of weather that's setting up over the country may be breaking down. It seems a bit odd really to be looking at the breakdown just before the fine weather started, but such is the nature of the weather, but we have to keep extending out into the coming weeks to see what's going on. Of course, the storyline with this is that we're going to build the high pressure and we're going to develop the high pressure, we're going to have some very warm weather, but eventually we've got to look for the breakdown. We're going to see when that could occur this morning. But bearing in mind, the long-range models are very experimental, not to be relied upon, so this is just sort of a bit of amusing really about what they're showing, but they shouldn't be taken too seriously. Now, before I get on with the video, I want to talk about the advertising. There's green keyword ads on my pages at GamesRoboBits.com. You can roll your cursor over those green keywords, you'll see ads, they'll display ads. If you click through the keywords, then you go to the advertiser's website. By doing that, you're supporting GamesRoboBits.com, and thanks very much for doing it. So just going to quickly run through the next week's worth of maximum temperatures from the JFS model to see how warm it's likely to be. This is today's chart for Friday the 5th of July. Showing that we're seeing temperatures here being indicated to get up to around 24, 25 degrees across many parts of England and Wales. We could well lift that up a little bit more, say 26, possibly at the outside 27. 27 is 81 Fahrenheit. So a proper warm, sunny, summery day coming up today. Summer is well and truly here now. So as we move through into Saturday, where we're going to find temperatures a little bit higher, lifting up by a degree or so. So this is indicated 26, 27, possibly lifting that up to around 28, 28 to 83. Sunday could well be the peak of heat actually for southern parts of the country, getting up to 28 degrees there. Perhaps lift that up a little bit more, say to 30 degrees. 30 is 86 Fahrenheit. Friday just shows that we might lift the temperatures down ever so slightly, just dip them down ever so slightly. And the reason is that we're bringing somewhat cooler air in the east. So GFS is very consistent with this. So I think we have to take it seriously now. I couldn't really see when I did the 5-day forecast on Wednesday why it was doing that, but it's very consistent with it. So I think we have to take it seriously, but temperatures perhaps drop by a degree or two. Still very warm, don't get me wrong, it still will be very warm day on Monday with temperatures again at least into the mid to upper 20s, probably getting up to around 26, 27, maybe 28 degrees. But in the east it will be that little bit cooler, and the highest temperatures probably in the west, and that's sort of how we go into Tuesday as well. Temperatures somewhere being indicated around 25, 26, so we lift back to around 27, possibly 28. And then as we go into Wednesday, then we do see a bit of a dip again in the temperatures, going down to around the mid-20s, then probably around 25 or 26 as maximums, and that's how we go into Thursday and into Friday as well. By Friday the heat is beginning to rebuild actually in the west, but it's somewhat cooler in the east. So a very warm spell of weather certainly is coming up. Going to be quite hot, particularly Sunday. I think Sunday could actually be the peak across southern parts of the country, with temperatures around that sort of 30 degree 86 Fahrenheit mark, southern inland parts of southern England. Then next week, just say very warm all week. It's just that we're probably not going to see the kind of extent of the temperatures that we get on Sunday. We're probably just going to limit the temperatures back by a degree or two, but still very warm, very pleasant spell coming up. Certainly a very summery spell next week with a lot of high pressure. It is going to be mainly dry. So when is this sort of high pressure, settled, summery weather likely to break down? Well, this is the latest update from the long-range JMA model. This is from Japan. And what we're looking at here is 500 millibar heights as a forecast for the next month. And this broke down into weekly periods. So the first chart looking at it is for the first week, which takes us from today to next Friday. Next Friday is going towards the middle of July actually. And then as we go beyond that, then we're going to go into the second week and then into the third and fourth weeks. The third and fourth weeks will be taking us to the final week of July and the first week of August. So it is taking us into August now. So yeah, we're going to start off with this chart, which is for the first week, Friday the 6th of July to probably, what is it, Friday the 13th of July, Friday 13th of July, something like that. And we're going to be seeing a high pressure there right over the top of the country, a big area of high pressure, big area of above average height sitting right over the top of the British Isles for the coming week. So yeah, we're going to see very settled weather, we already know this, and very warm weather as well. Those orange colours indicating a really intense area of high pressure in the coming week. Now, as we move through to the second week, which is taking us towards the final sort of stages of July, well, the idea is that we're still keeping above average heights going. The heights are lowering, so we've lost the orange colours and we've changed them to yellows. There is the British Isles just there. But nevertheless, that's still sort of indicating quite an extensive area of above average height still sitting over the country, so I think we will be expecting a lot of dry weather with that, and really quite warm as well. The heights are lowering though, so we could be starting to see somewhat more unsettled influences trying to develop, particularly perhaps from the south, particularly maybe seeing somewhat sort of thundery type conditions trying to push up from the south. The colours are definitely lowering down to the south. And as we go through to the third and fourth weeks, which is, remember, is taking us from the final week of July to the first week of August, then the heights are really lowering quite a lot, and we've still got above average heights, a small area of above average heights sitting to the north and across Scotland, but many parts of the country seeing much more nearer normal heights. Now, what could be going on with this is that as we're going out, the model is sort of losing the signal, so the strength of the pressure belt starts to weaken, and it sort of loses the overall signal to the pattern. So that yellow area actually for Scotland could still be indicating that even as we get through to the latter stages of July and the first weeks of August, we may well still be seeing some sort of anticyclonic influences going on. It's just that the model sort of loses the signal as we get out towards that stage. But certainly I think the idea is that for much of July we are keeping sort of high pressure signals going, and this is kind of backed up by the CFS model as well. The CFS model is the long range model from the United States. This is precipitation forecast, but it's useful for sort of indicating where the pressure belts are likely to be. This is for the week up to the 10th of July, the rainfall prediction from the CFS model from the website weatherweb.net. You can find this on my links page. It's the precipitation forecast up to the 10th of July. We're seeing that most of the country is going to be dry up to the 10th of July, so the idea is that we've got big areas of high pressure sitting there around the country and to the southwest, but low pressure with the jet stream being pushed off to the north. That's pretty good. We know that is basically the case. As we move through to the week ending at the 17th of July, so going from the 10th to the 17th, well, still big anticyclonic influences there across the country during that weekly period. Very, very dry there, not just for British Isles, but for much of northern and western Europe as well. High pressure very much in ascendancy through that week period. Again, that sort of is in line with what we were seeing from the JMA model. Going through to the week to the 24th of July, then we're just starting to see the high pressure weakening. Still a lot of anticyclonic influences really around the country, but certainly signs that to the south and to the north we're probably developing more in way of low pressure. So the idea, I think, is that the high pressure over much of north and west Europe is probably being attacked from both sides. It's probably being attacked from the north and from the south up to that week ending in the 24th of July. And then finally, as we get through to the final week of July, the 31st of July, then the CFS model is breaking the high pressure down properly. We've got low pressure there coming in across the country. Low pressure is actually sitting more or less around the British Isles. High pressure is moving off to the north of Scandinavia and slipping away to the southwest of the country, with much of northern and western Europe turning a good deal more unsettled at the end of July. And then as we go through into August, that sort of stays with us, that pattern with quite unsettled conditions there for the British Isles and for much of northern and western Europe as well. The high pressure is sitting down to the southwest, where it should be really around the Azores, and it's probably up to the north of the country, probably some blocking going on up there, but that's quite an unsettled looking signal up to the week from the 1st to the 7th of July, that first week, 7th of August, that could be quite unsettled. And then going through to the middle of August, the idea is that we're keeping sort of quite unsettled weather going through that period there across many parts of the country, and northwestern Europe as well, looking quite unsettled with, again, the high pressure more down to the southwest and possibly up to the north of the country as well. So I think the idea is that for much of July we're going to keep it pretty settled. We're going to keep a lot of anticyclonic influences, certainly for the next week, probably the week after that as well. A lot of high pressure dominating. Eventually the high pressure will probably start to be attacked from the south and from the north, and as we go through to the latter stages of July, particularly the final week, I think that's when we could be starting to look at some good deal more unsettled weather coming in, and we might see some proper precipitation starting to come through then in the final week of July. And then that takes us through probably into August. And this is all sort of backing up the idea that I was getting from the long-range forecasts when I was doing the July month-head forecast. Actually, I said we'd like to see a very dry month, very settled. But there's just that signal from the Beijing Climate Centre with that forecast that we might see it turning more unsettled at the end of July. I think the JMA and the CFS are sort of hinting at that idea as well. But as we go into that final week of the month, we're likely to see it becoming quite a bit more unsettled. So that's it. I think we're looking at a good deal of dry weather, certainly for the next couple of weeks, then perhaps more unsettled after that. But it's all very experimental. These models are really just for fun. Don't take it all too seriously. It's just sort of amusing for a Friday. That's it for now. We'll be doing the week ahead forecast tomorrow. It's going to be a very warm and settled one, so if you like warm, summery weather, come back for week ahead forecast tomorrow. But that's it for now. Thanks for watching.